In this vlog, I'm talking about my recent experience at New York Fashion Week 2025. And for reference, there's a New York Fashion Week geared towards women and geared towards men. I went to the one for women because it was first, and I'll be going to the one for men later. If you checked out my channel before, or if it's your first time here, welcome. I am really passionate about New York City. New York City fashion has been really inspiring for my sense of style, my character, just who I am as a creative person. I'm born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut, but I've spent a lot of time in New York City, especially for art college. I went to the School of Visual Arts. So being able to go back and forth between New Haven and New York is just something that I'm used to because I commuted for 4 years to art college. New York Fashion Week is something that I'm very familiar with. I've had opportunities like with this brand called Ultra Shows. I was able to create photography for them and just be really ingrained and invested in different brands. I used to work for a brand called The Tie Bar, who I'm still a big fan of. Started by doing fashion illustrations for them. And then eventually I worked retail for their different pop-up shops in New York City before they had a stationary location that's unfortunately since closed in Manhattan. So what that did was really help expand my horizons in terms of styling, dressing in a way that's fully expressing what I'm interested in. So for this look that I built for New York Fashion Week, I went with a navy pinstripe jacket and white trousers for like a nautical look. And it was inspired by Polo Ralph Lauren. It was really cool to just be suited up during New York Fashion Week and exploring. And I had some time to kill before hanging out with a friend of mine. So I went to the Butcher's Daughter, which is a place I frequented a lot when I was working at the Tie Bar's pop-up shop in the Soho area. Riding the subway, feeling the energy of Manhattan, wherever I'm commuting to in the city, is just second to none. I had a lot of different pop-ups in mind of visiting. We only visited a few, and it's just so much. Every time I go to New York City, I'm always trying to just squeeze in as much as possible, especially if I'm going during the week. And this was the only day I was able to go to Manhattan for New York Fashion Week, so I wanted to get the most bang for my buck. We ended up getting some food in between the shows, and I got photographed a few times in an impromptu way because I was pulled aside and there was just like this really long line for one of the brands that I was looking at getting photographed by. And my friend went ahead of time and was like, well, they're kind of busy. You're not going to be able to get in and shoot with them. I was like, all right, that's fine. I'll go check out something else. But the photographer really liked my style and he pulled me aside when he could have just kept working with the people that were in line. So it was really humbling, and I felt a lot of immense gratitude that people take notice of how I dress and how I style myself. And I've said a few times on this channel too, suiting and menswear is not only my bread and butter, but I think it's also a sign of respect. I don't expect everybody to wear a suit and tie wherever they go. But for me, it's just how I express myself as an artist, as a businessman. It's just really important to me to show up in those different spaces in this way. And this look isn't something I would typically wear. Like usually I would wear it as the full suit, but I wanted to reference a legacy brand like Polo Ralph Lauren and just kind of go about what I was doing during the day, dressed the way that I was dressed, making content with my Osmo Pocket 3, setting up on the monopod while also exploring the city and seeing. We even visited a few shops that had vintage clothing. So it was like just a full day of exploring New York City. The collections were really cool, and we ended up going off the beaten path and just checking out some of the different areas in Soho. And this was probably the busiest I've seen Soho, period. And this is me like going to New York City on a regular basis. Like you could just feel the energy of New York Fashion Week. And there were a few telltale signs that people were either there as stylists, photographers, videographers, or content creators. You could just kind of tell, like it was like an unspoken language, so to speak. So being in that area, getting that energy, feeling the vibes was really amazing. And afterward, we just kind of explored Union Square, went back towards Grand Central. And Grand Central to me is like my starting point for New York City. It is a cultural hub. There are shops. There's even different gallery exhibits. Grand Central Terminal is usually the first thing I see when I'm going into Manhattan. And I have a lot of memories commuting and taking these oversized canvases that weren't dry yet back and forth from New Haven to New York City. So being able to leave out of Grand Central is always like a refreshing thing for me. It's like, wow, I've really made it in what I'm doing as an artist and as a menswear blogger, and being able to make all these really great connections and quickly and effectively create content for my brand. It's like one of the main things that keeps me coming back to New York. Just going in for that burst of energy, going in to create something that is fun for me, but also maybe it's educational, maybe it is moving somebody to dress like I do or create content in the way that I do, because I'm also inspired by other creators in New York City. So going into town for New York Fashion Week, even if it's not even in a way where it's convenient time-wise, because I had to move some things around to make it work, I knew it was going to be worth it taking this trip to the city, getting inspired, and being able to take that back home with me for everything that I'm doing in Milford, West Haven, and all the other different places that I travel to. And there's just so much more to do, so much more to see, and I hope you'll come along with me on this journey. If you like the video, please subscribe. It helps the channel a lot.